Hi everyone. So we are going to continue our reading from where we left off. We're still in the book of Matthew in chapter 5, and today we're going to proceed into our next section. And guess what? We only have one more section left in Matthew chapter 5, and we're wrapping up Matthew chapter 5 and proceeding into Matthew chapter 6. I'm not necessarily as excited because I want to dwell in Matthew chapter 5 for a little bit longer, but I'm also excited about moving forward to the next chapter. But before we proceed with that, let's recall what we have read, and I wanted us to use a reverse approach this time around so that we can actually get to understand what we have read, so that we don't miss out on all of the key intricate details. But I'm just going to summarize it. So in Matthew chapter 5, in our previous reading, we read about Jesus's teachings about vows, made it very simple. Less is more. And then we read in previous section about Jesus teaching about divorce, and made it very clear that it stems from the very heart. The teaching prior to his teaching about adultery, he also talked about anger and made it very clear that anger is ungodly. And before he actually broke down some of those key details of his teachings, he addressed the law and made it very clear that he has not come to abolish the law, but he is here to fulfill the law. And we saw that in Jesus' teachings as we proceed from where we start. And then prior to that, he made it very clear, like an introduction, gave us a designation of who we're supposed to be as salt and light. And prior to that, he first gave out pronouncement of blessings, gave us a true picture of how we're supposed to live as members of the kingdom of heaven. Now we're going to proceed into our reading. This reading or this section is Jesus' teaching about revenge. It begins in verse 38 and concludes in verse 42. And it starts with, "You have heard the law that says the punishment must match the injury, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, but I say do not resist an evil person. If someone slaps you on the right cheek, offer the other cheek also. If you are sued in court and your shirt is taken from you, give your coat too. If a soldier demands that you carry his gift for a mile, carry it 2 miles. Give to those who ask, and don't turn away from those who want to borrow." So one of the key things that I feel like I dwell on in regards to meditation and just like having so many questions is, how has the unnatural become so natural? Like, how has doing evil become our default, and good seems so unattainable? It's just very fascinating to see how man has fallen and it has adapted to the ways of things that are evil and does not have any accommodation for good to actually enter. Wherein sometimes when we are reading this, it feels like so out of the norm, and it's supposed to be our natural state. So it just fascinates me how, like, we are reading this and we all have some of those struggles that we deal with. Somebody does evil to you, you're supposed to repay this person that has done evil to you with good. And how beautiful does that sound, but yet still feels like it's just something out of the ordinary. So I think that that's very interesting. There's a saying that goes, 2 wrongs don't make a right, or something like that. It just reminded me of that saying, and I wanted to kind of highlight that. But I feel like Jesus's approach is just so radically different from how you and I will react. It's just so different. That's why it takes the Holy Spirit to teach you. It takes him to begin to guide you through those things, because our natural state, unfortunately, unnatural state, has taken root in us, that anything that actually expresses good, it's like 2 personalities are fighting with each other. So I just think that there's something so beautiful about how he breaks down these teachings, not only from a surface level, but he goes deep and peers through some of those key things that sometimes people just are frowning to not talk about it. And then one of the things that I think was really beautiful was him highlighting that repaying hate with love truly brings peace. But it allowed me to remind myself of that. If you are receiving or having experienced hate, your reaction, natural reaction should be love. And that love bring peace. And it reminded me of the Beatitudes. In verse 9, it says, God bless those who walk for peace, for they will be called the children of God. And you see how now everything that we have read tie into the Beatitudes, ties into the pronouncement of blessing. It is so intentional. It is so pure. It is so godly. And I just love it so much. So I leave you with that today. And I cannot wait to talk to you in our next reading. And it's going to be our final section. And I can't wait to recap it with you. And I cannot wait to celebrate our reading throughout these last couple of readings that we have had. So I'll talk to you later and have a good night. Bye.